Hey there, White Case family. Hope everybody's well and had a great, safe holiday. Going to be cooking today and tonight, actually. Something a little different. It's not so much about the recipe in particular. However, I'll give the high-level specifics of it. But it's more about the cook style. Today I'm going to be making chili. A big vat of chili. You can make chili on the stove, just in a Dutch oven or in a slow cooker or in a pressure cooker, or you can put a pot out on the, we have a Weber grill out on the deck in the yard that we could use. But instead, today, we're going to be doing it on a smoker. So this is a kettle pellet stove. We've got a hopper here filled with hickory pellets. Just turned it on to get some smoke going. We've got large black cast iron skillet in here that we're going to cook the meat in. First thing we're going to do is put some chopped up onions and garlic in the bottom of that skillet, and let this get up to about 350 degrees or so. And let's drop that in right now. Actually, so that's just finely diced onion, a couple of large sliced piece of garlic, and now we'll turn it from smoke and bring it up to about 300 degrees. The smoke will go away. We're going to let that onion cook for a little bit, give it about 10-15 minutes at 300 degrees, and then we're going to put in 2.5 pounds of chopped meat. We've made this with turkey meat, chicken, you can make it vegan style as well. But in this case, we're using an 80-20 blend of chopped meat. It's about, like I said, a little over 2.5 pounds. That'll go in the smoker in, like I said, probably about 15-20 minutes. So we'll be right back. Folks, we're back. The onions took a little longer to sweat because it's a little cold out here. I don't know where we're at right now, about 35 degrees. And between that and the wind, the temperature regulator on the Traeger is fluctuating a little bit, but onions spread it down. So we're going to put in our chopped meat. Starting to sizzle. I like that. I like to use a little bit of paprika. Did that on the onions as well after in between takes here. And just not so much for a paprika taste, but for the coloring on the onions. I don't like onions. I don't like white onions in my food, so I like them to be red. So we'll put that on now. Bring it back to about 300 degrees. We're going to let it cook for a while because it's to get all the smoke. The Traeger pellets, send pellets in when the temperature goes down, and that's when you see smoke. It's not happening right this minute, but it's about every 5 or 10 minutes we get a nice big smoke. So we're going to leave that on there probably a good hour or two. I'll keep checking it, but I'll have to turn it so all the meat gets cooked up. And when we come back, we'll drain it, and then we'll do the seasoning. I got a plethora of seasonings over here on the workbench. That's one of the great things about smoking food. Instead of just throwing a couple things on the grill, you do a set of ribs on here. It can take anywhere from 6 to 8, 10 hours. You do a brisket, it could be 14 hours. Sometimes you got to start these things at 5 o'clock in the morning. What's great about it is right now it's going on 4 in the afternoon. It's winter, so it's going to be dark out in another 45 minutes. But the secret we don't usually tell the spouses, mine happens to be videoing me right now, but it's great because it's an excuse to come out here, have a beer, have a drink, whatever, and check on your smoke. Check on the pellets. With a real smoker, you got to mind it all the time. This thing is kind of a set it and forget it. As a temperature gauge, it has probes and everything else. But it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. I had this for about a year and did chili on it. After I had it for a good 9 months, didn't even think about it. And then when it tasted the chili and it had this smoky taste to it. Last time we did it had oak. I used some oak wood, or oak pellets rather. This time we're using hickory. I think there's a little bit of cherry left in there as well. So yeah, we're going to leave that go for about another hour or so. I'll be checking it from time to time. Once it looks like the meat is cooked, we'll drain, little bit of the excess oil out, and we'll start to season. With that, I had to put a jacket on because it's getting colder. But hey, we got some branding over here. I'm not from the Silicon Valley office. I'm from New York. We still got white case. So we'll catch up in a few minutes. So back here, the meat is actually cooked. All nice and cooked up nicely. Onions are blended in nicely. I hate to see the color of the onions. So we're gonna have to start adding our spices. Again, this is all about the cooking method to get the smoky taste. This is my own mix. It's predominantly naturally dark chili powder, cumin, salt, pepper, some garlic powder. There's some crushed red flake in there, pepper flake. There's even a little bit of sumac, sort of like poison ivy, poison sumac. There's a little bit of sumac in here too. Gives a little bit of sweetness. So I'm going to sprinkle that in first. Now I'm not going overboard here because I'll let this cook for a couple of hours and then taste it a couple times and see what it's lacking. Every time I do this, it's kind of like a science experiment. It's never the same. So we got a little bit of garlic, and this is a chopped up long hot. That's a long hot, not chopped up. This is the long hot that's been chopped up. That I'll probably add more of. I like a bit of heat, but I don't like to make it too hot. Not everybody likes it super hot. I like it hot but sweet. So get that all blended in. What we're going to do is add 1 beer. 2.5 pounds, we could probably use a little bit more than 1 beer. I'm not a huge fan of Yuengling, but I've tried other beers, including my own, my favorite, Miller Lite. Didn't give it as much taste. We're just going to add 1 entire. That's all starting to sizzle up. And I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible. I know you're freezing. Okay. So everything's going to get mixed in there nicely. This is basically starting off, just to see what the consistency is. This is a tin of crushed tomatoes, a tin of Rotel chunk tomato with chilies and a little bit of lime, and then a tin of
paste.
Thank you, hon. Tomato paste. Like adding tomato paste, just to thicken it a bit, because I probably thin it a lot when I add the beer. Okay. So, pretty well mixed up right now. We're going to let it cook. Next time we come out here, it'll probably be dark out. But we're going to let that cook in a bit. It'll season, get through all the meat. Then we'll check the consistency. We'll see what else we have to add, if anything. I'm a big fan of cumin. I think that's what really gives the chili the taste. And we'll let it go. Be back shortly. Okay, and we're back. It's been a couple hours here. And the smoker's sitting at 263 degrees. Let's see if I can do this by myself here. So we've got chili bubbling away here. I'm gonna give it another hour or two and take a little taste from time to time. See what I might need added. Be right back. Folks, we're back. Last piece. Try to keep it short. I I think this video is running a little long, but brought the chili in off the smoker just 2 minutes ago. The smoky smell of it is amazing. My wife even said as soon as I walked in, she came in from the living room and said, "What is that smoke?" It's literally the chili. The only thing I changed was I added a little bit of a couple teaspoons of sugar to get rid of the acidity of the tomatoes. But aside from that, and I also added a little bit of cumin. But it's been on the grill for, I guess, about 4 hours. And gonna give it a taste. Well, I've been tasting it in and out, but this is my favorite part. We would generally have this in a crock pot. I learned this from a bar I used to hang out at on Sunday afternoons. I wasn't a football fan, but he always had a big crock pot of his own homemade chili. And the best part was, it was for free, and he would just put it in these little cups. So on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, we have family, friends over, whatever. There was a game on. It's so convenient to literally just grab one of these disposable cups, load up on a little bit of chili. I mean, you want a big bowl? We got plenty of bowls and everything else for that. And then sprinkle a little bit of fresh, this I believe is Westminster cheddar cheese. You want to add a little bit more heat. There's some pickled jalapenos here. Add a little bit of sweet as well, and enjoy. Like I said, this is an easy to handle meal. You could even have a drink in your hand at the same time and walk around. So many people congregate in the kitchen, they don't sit at the dining room table. And best part is when they're done, just throw the cup and the plastic spoon away, come back 10 minutes, 15 minutes later, an hour later, there's more chili. Help themselves. I think it's great for a Saturday or Sunday afternoon or any time. You can actually smell the hickory coming out of that pan right now. And it's just got an overall great taste. By the way, there's no beans in this. This is Texas chili, proper chili. You don't put beans in chili, in my opinion. But that's it. Hope everybody has a great 2022 and stay safe and healthy. And cheers. Have any questions? Shoot me an email.